speaker is Mr. Deepak Goel. He's back from Silicon Valley. He's already spent, I guess, 15 years?
14 years.
14 years, exactly. So he's already spent 14 years in Silicon Valley. I guess 3 startups you have already related, right? So this is fourth one. The name is Karma Circles. So he'll share his journey and particularly about the entrepreneurship and the startups, which is now rising in India. Back to sir.
So first of all, my last name is not Sir, my last name is Goel, so please feel free to call me Deepak. So is it working? Okay. So I graduated from IIT Delhi back in 2000, and went to Silicon Valley to work for Microsoft, and it was a very interesting time to join Microsoft at that time because all my friends who were working for startups, and the .com boom had just busted, and all the companies which were which were really big, literally 6 months back before I went to US, had all of a sudden disappeared from the whole scene. So 2001, 2002 was the time when really sound business model driven companies were being built, like Google being one of them. Google was literally like a block away from where I used to work at Microsoft. And so from 2001 to 2005, I was an engineer at Microsoft. And I realized that I was not a good engineer. I became engineer because everybody in India becomes an engineer. And I was okay with it, and that's why I was able to survive in the ecosystem as well. But it took me good 4 years to realize that I was not a good engineer, and I moved on to the management side and product side. And I also had the good fortune to have a good manager who agreed to sponsor my MBA. Went to UC Berkeley to do my MBA while I was working for Microsoft. And while I was at UC Berkeley, I had a bigger fortune of working with Eric Ries. How many of you know Eric Ries? Yeah, the lean startup guy. So this was like way before Eric Ries became Eric Ries. His guru Steve Blank used to be my professor at Berkeley, and learned the tricks of lean startup right from what he was doing at IMVU and many of the companies that he mentions in lean startup, and Steve Blank. And Steve Blank talked about his 7 startups that he had built till that time. And in 2009, when I graduated in entrepreneurship, left Microsoft, people were like, why don't you go do a startup? And I'm like, I don't think I have what I really want to do. So I just went to work for a very small company, 100 people company, coupons.com, $17 million of revenue. And it was an amazing journey. We grew it from 17 million to $100 million in less than 2 years, got a valuation of $1 billion. And when I was at the peak of my career, I was like, 2011 Unicorn was a big deal. Like, it was really a big deal. And I was like, okay, I think this is good stuff. But then I actually got the opportunity to build a company in India. And I was like, in coupons.com, I'm actually betting on my seed. And in India, there was a small company by the name India Homes. How many of you know India Homes? It was pretty small at that time. One of my friends had just invested in that company. He was like, this is going to hit the hockey stick, around $2 million in revenue. I came to India, built the engineering team, product team, marketing team, grew it to almost $12 million revenue in less than a year. But I realized that this was not like something that I wanted to do. Went back to US. This time I landed in Chicago. Did a very small stint at Nokia, and I thought that if I'm one level away from the CEO, I can make a big company work. But that was not true. Took me a couple of months to figure out that it's a broken ship. It's completely dysfunctional. I cannot fix it even if I want to. And what I started doing around 2011-2012 timeframe, after having experience of 2 startups, was I started advising a lot of entrepreneurs. Like, okay, I have done 2 startups in 2 domains. Why not start helping people and pro bono? And all of them will start with a 1 hour, half an hour long meeting, wherein I will advise them on marketing, engineering, product strategy. Then I ended up meeting 2 young entrepreneurs, literally 19 years old and 20 years old. And I, said, okay, you are building a book company, online book rentals. I believe it's an interesting company. And that is when I, came in late co-founder for the company. I invested in that company as well. And I said, let's go take it big. After about 1 year, I helped them get the first $1 million of revenue. The company's doing really well. We just raised our Series A of around $1.5 million. Mark Cuban is one of our investors among other people. But in June 2014, when I literally found my life's calling. And that is where the whole idea of karma circles came into existence, wherein I'm like, I'm helping these people and I'm doing it pro bono. Why not create a platform wherein anybody in the world, and by the way, I was like in Chicago, but I was helping mostly Silicon Valley people. Because I spent almost 11 years in Silicon Valley. So Silicon Valley people knew me, they knew that I have a brand in startups. Chicago also came to know about me because I spent quite a bit of time with Kellogg and Booth. But there were people in India as well, because I spent some time at India Homes. So I said, why not create a platform wherein it's as simple as you just go onto the platform, you say that, okay, you are an expert in marketing, you are an expert in strategy, I'm building a startup, I don't have money to afford your consulting fee, but I will write a thank you note for you and I'll pay it forward. Like the way you are helping me, I'll help someone else. And that is how the whole concept of Karma Cycle started. And we launched the website in January last year. In June, we realized that mobile is the way to go, so we started working on a mobile app, launched the Android application. The iOS app should be coming in a couple of weeks, and we have a concept of groups. In fact, we spoke to Shivam yesterday, and we would love to create a group for daily startups as well. Like people like Shivam, they have done phenomenal job in connecting people like you. They have helped so many people, can we at least write a thank you note for Shivam, and that will help him in multiple ways. This is just an expression of gratitude, and at the same time, if you need help from Shivam later on, he will be available. So, I have a lot of experience in non-profits as well. So when you write a thank you note for somebody who helps you, that makes that person value, and at the same time, you are likely to get help again from that person. And that is the whole concept of karma circles. And so a couple of things that I will give you, which I have been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs in India over the last 7 months since I moved to India. One is focus on your niche. What is it that you want to be known for? Shivam could have started India startups. He's starting with Delhi startups, but maybe he has a vision of world startups, or maybe he has a vision of India startups. But he could be known for Delhi startups maybe in 6 months, in 1 year or 2 years, and that will actually help him understand what makes a great startup community. So focus on what you're doing on and nail it that nobody in the world can come close to you. The second thing is, do not do things just for the heck of it. I remember I met this gentleman, Harmeet, a couple of hours back. He's building a book company. He's making a platform wherein you sell books and you can, they buy books from people and then they make it easy for people to buy second-hand books from you. I was, talking to him. We took a cab, to come from Defense Colony to here. He has done a PhD in that space. He absolutely understands how the book market works. So, look at what is it that, Harsh, doing blogging for 6 years, is there something that you're truly, truly passionate about that you can do it for next 6 years? Don't think of I'll build a product, quickly raise money, scale it up. You look at the Paytm story, look at the Oyo story. Everybody who has done well has done a PhD in whatever domain that they're working in. So, focus on your niche, do a PhD on that. If a startup comes out, think of it I was talking to Shivam, why are you creating daily startups community? What's your business angle? And he's like, I want people to get help from each other. I want to connect the community. I'm not trying to create a company, but maybe a company will come out in a couple of months. Maybe a company will come out in a couple of years. You look at Craigslist. Craigslist, the guy, I remember meeting him in 2001. He was like, I just want to help people buy and sell stuff from each other. I don't care if I will ever monetize it. So, see what you can do wherein you are so passionate that you will do it for free. You will do it without any monetization strategy. You will do it because you love that thing. So, that is my piece of advice. Thank you.